Good morning and welcome. Please join me as we light the chalice. The words are in your order of service. We light our chalice this morning, grateful for the love that we experience in this beloved community. May the flame light the way for all who seek such abundance.
Thank you, John. Good morning, everybody. It's wonderful to have everybody here today and together. I'm Beth Reinders, the co-chair of the Worship Committee and the vice president of the board. I'd like to start by welcoming any visitors who may be with us today for the first or second time. So if you wouldn't mind, we'd love for you to share your name and where you're from, because there will assuredly be somebody else here that hails from that same place and will want to talk to you later. So if you could, on the left side, anybody who might be here for first or second visit, please stand. Anybody in the center who is with us? Welcome.
Hello, I'm Reverend Donna Johnson, newly retired, longtime friend of Karen Sorber's from Virginia. I now live in southern Arizona in Green Valley.
Welcome. And anybody on the right side, first or second time visitors? Please know that when the baskets are passed, your presence is our gift, and we thank you for being with us. So I'd like to open announcements, first of all, with my regret that it's my face that you're having to look at up here again on Sunday, instead of the face of that guy that we all love and miss and have been worrying about, Charlie Tyler. He's the one that reminds us all of how truly unique and special this place is, and how fortunate we are to have found each other. And we are especially fortunate that we have him. This has been a really tough week for Charlie. At about 8 o'clock last night, my phone rang, and I looked down at the screen, and I was thrilled to see the name Charlie Tyler. And so I got the chance to hear his voice and his assurance that the tough stuff was behind him now. He was home from the hospital after surgery. And of course, the most important thing to Charlie was to make sure that his thanks was extended to all of you who have been so caring and sent all of these loving and supporting vibes to him. He gave me the okay to share a little bit about what this week has been like for him, and it has been a wild one and had its scary moments. On Monday, he wound up in the emergency room, which then took him to Beaufort Hospital. There was a discovery that there were actually a couple of conditions going on. One of them had to do with the bile duct complications that he was suffering. The other one had to do with the gallbladder. We think of gallbladder as a kind of routine thing. Charlie's was anything but that. And so he's had two different specialists that have worked on him and have been very successful in his therapy. And so he is doing quite well. They have been very, very emphatic, and I think Kim is going to stay on him about this, that he take several days here dedicated just to his recovery. He was able to have Anne, his sister, and his daughters, and of course Kim with him through this, who were all wonderfully supportive and helpful. So I know that we're all holding out hopes that his recovery will be full and fast, and we will have him back in our embrace very soon. I want to bring you up briefly to date regarding the mold remediation issue and the reconstruction plans for the Sunday school rooms. The mold situation has been addressed, and in the process, some very, very significant structural issues have been discovered. This week, there are two construction companies that will come in and give us assessments and estimates of what's going to be involved with addressing these issues. We're also going to have the HVAC company that we use come in to clean and biocide the ductwork. As you can imagine, the structural discoveries are clearly going to increase the costs of the project. As we gain more specific information and estimates about what is involved, we will share it with everybody as we know more. And I'm sure that all of you are really eager to be supportive in these ventures. And before we leave this topic, I'd like to once again extend our gratitude for all the hard, smart work that's being done by Chris Malmstrom and with the support of Patricia Friedman and Amy Hadsel. You've got a fabulous team. As for the other announcements, I would direct your attention to the information in your newsletter and today's insert in the order of service. You'll see that there are some SCUJA opportunities that you might find interesting, hosted by the League of Women Voters and the Low Country Immigration Coalition. You might also wish to join the SCUJA Fall Festival on September 26th in Charleston. Just a reminder, movie night is back, September 3rd, 6 o'clock. The film is In the Shadows of Motown, which can be streamed for free on YouTube. If you're interested in attending, please sign up on the list in the foyer or let me know. You bring a dish and your favorite Motown memory or song. And finally, a reminder and invitation to everyone, in place of our usual talkback today, after our coffee communion, as Charlie calls it, we're going to gather back here in the sanctuary for our second delightful edition of Storytelling Time with the Jobe brothers. And, and speaking of Jobe brothers, I'd like to invite Brother Bill up here to share some opening words with us.
Thank you. I believe in stories. I used to have a bumper sticker that said, the shortest distance between two people is a story. Stories are among the greatest tools we have. Stories can heal wounds, knock down walls, and bridge vast expanses. Stories, both fictional and true, can teach us lessons that others have learned without having to go through the struggles ourselves. Grandparents tell their grandchildren stories they never had time to tell their children. Children make up new worlds as they play. Their stories look like the worlds they live in or the worlds they would like to live in. Novelists bring characters to life on the printed page and take us to places we couldn't go if we had all the money in the world. They take us to the future, the past, places that don't even exist, into the minds and hearts of their heroes, heroines, villains, and victims. Screenwriters, producers, directors, actors, and crew bring us simple tales and spectacular epics in ways that didn't exist 150 years ago. The silver screen gives us sights and sounds that had only existed in the imagination of storytellers and their audiences until the magic of the silver screen. Just lost where I am. Live theater brings stories to life that are as fresh as the morning and more ancient than Rome. Each performance is unique. Every time the actors don their costumes and the crews move into action behind the scenes, a single living organism comes to life. As the house gets dark, the stage lights come up. You are there, but you're not there. You're a fly on the wall. As the story unfolds before you, laughter and tears are real. You can see them. When a gun is fired, you feel the shock waves and smell the smoke. Sometimes fog drifts right up to you, and you can hear the rain on a tin roof. Poets and musicians sometimes make us work to find their stories. They spell it out for us. They spread their words and patterns on the page and in the air. They sometimes count syllables and rhyme. The poems and songs that survive the test of time have a story to tell. Songwriters and poets are somewhat kin and sometimes the same. Lyrics are poems that have more hang time. The music holds the words up and lights them so we can see their colors. Songs can take us from birth to death, or only tell the second it takes to break a heart. Parents tell their children stories that carry them from days to dreams. Simple stories that can be told again and again, yet hold a freshness and wonder to a child. Stories bond people together and help them heal and grow. Some of the most powerful stories are reserved for special circumstances. They should only be told when the teller feels safe. Storytelling plays a big part in group therapy and support groups. Knowing someone else has survived what you're going through can give great hope. Telling a story is much more than conveying the particulars of an event. Listening is just as important as telling. If you have suffered a loss or in pain, find someone who will let you pour out your story. If you know someone who's suffering, be there to hear their story. I believe if you tell your stories and listen to others, you heal others' pain, and find peace. Share your stories with the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. And if you would, in your hymnal, please turn to number 67. We sing now together.
And now is the time in our service when we work to sustain our community. First of all, if you've brought any food items for the Bluffton Self-Help and Sandalwood Pantry, please leave them on the back table. There are many people in our community who have food insufficiency, and this is a great help for them. We also ask that you be generous as you consider the needs of our community as we go out into the world and help others, and of course, meet our own needs as well. Thank you. Again, those first or second time visitors, please leave the basket pass. Your presence is a gift to us. Thank you very much for your generosity.
Good morning. So now's the time we share joys and concerns. We share joys so that we can celebrate with you, and we share concerns so that we can help support you. So when you come up, if you like, you can take a stone from the basket, maybe take a moment, think about your joy or your concern. And then after you share, you can add your stone to the cairn. So please come up.
My joy was looking at the announcements. And I was so excited about seeing that, our beautiful friend Marvin and his beautiful daughter and his beautiful son-in-law, June and Mike, they have contributed money to the education for children. And that is so important. And I don't know if you saw, but a year ago, I'm not real good about reading everything in the UU magazine. Um, but this one was phenomenal because it gave 3 parts: small UUs, medium UUs, and then big UUs. And the only way to grow is to have young people come who have children, and they're back over there and over there. That's what builds this place. And if you look at the curriculum, I've seen the curriculum, and Ann did a super job. And this new gal is going ballistic with the new one that she has for her kids. And it's amazing. I wish my children had grown up in those Sunday schools from the time they were little till they were ready to graduate, because it teaches them so much. I mean, they were baking cookies, right? What was the subject? Transformation. And it was just, this is just the middle group. Transformation and change. And what can make it even better? I mean, come on, folks. So when I heard that because of Marvin, they are going to contribute even more than they have. And I'm so excited about that because I'm ready to go home and write a check. But here's to caring about not only our growth, but caring about what the children are learning for their entire lives.
Hi, my name is Cheryl. I usually come with the little pooch Alfie. He's at home today. But I'm taking care of some cute little dogs, 2 Shih Tzus. They're a boy and a girl, they're brother and sister next door. Their mom died of cancer earlier this year, and their dad was just taken to the hospital. He's got very bad dementia. So we need to rehome the dogs. So if anybody knows of anybody who wants a little boy and a little girl, they're really, really sweet, just get in touch with me. Thank you. Good question. They're 10.
While we wait for anyone else, I'm Carly, and I'm actually going to take a stone for myself. As many of you know, my mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's last year, and she's going to be moving into assisted living in a couple of weeks, which is a concern, but also a relief. So it's going to be a hard transition, I think, but I think it'll be good afterwards. But someone stole a little bit of my thunder. One of our big concerns is that my mom does have a dog that she is very attached to, and we're looking for someone that might be willing to give her a home. So if anybody's interested in a very sweet senior dog, let me know. She's a hound mix. She's very, very sweet. And yeah, so, and I also wanted to say thank you to everybody that's been very helpful and supportive and kind to me. I very, very much appreciate it, and I'm very grateful. So thank you.
I want to be thankful for my wife, because if my wife didn't keep up with my brothers and my calendar, and he and I wouldn't be here. Uh, we got off of a cruise ship yesterday morning, and then I drove. Pat met me in Charlotte at the airport, and we drove down here yesterday. And initially, our flight was supposed to come into Charlotte at 8 o'clock last night, but my wife got on the phone and figured out and got us a flight to where came in at 4 o'clock. So we got here a little after 9 last night rather than sometime early this morning. So I'm very, very thankful for her, and wanted to let y'all know that he and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Meg. I had the great privilege of raising my children in this church with Miss Ann as their religious education leader, and I can't express enough how valuable that has been. Now 25 and 22, my children are. They do consider themselves Unitarian. They don't always go to church, but I have witnessed things that I would like to say I instilled in them, but I know for a fact one time when they were young and all their friends that attended OWL and the UU Religious Ed, we used to always take care of the family promise, homeless families that would come through our church and spend a week and then move on. And we would entertain them. The kids would come. We would make dinner. We'd hang out. And us mothers were leading that charge. And I remember when my son and his guy friends were just barely driving, and it was our turn to bring dessert to the family promise here. And before us mothers could get the dessert, the boys had already gone to Publix, gotten the dessert, stopped at home, said, "We got to go to church. We got to drop off dessert." We didn't have to go. They knew how to be a productive member of community. And a lot of that is absolutely, I attribute to the Unitarian Religious Ed. And I'm forever grateful and forever a supporter and forever encourage anyone and everyone, let's support our youth. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Kat. Hey, I get a little bit of an inside scoop to some things that are going on because I'm here on Wednesdays, and I just want to have to share joy for Chris and Beth and Amy. And I know Beth already mentioned it, but it's the mold situation is a big deal, and I just think that the way that they are banding together and handling the situation and sharing everything with everybody. And it's just been such a joy to see the team effort and to see everybody really care and really solve all of these problems as they arise. And I just want to give a big shout out to Beth and Chris especially and Amy for coming together and trying to fix it for everybody so that we can have all of the youth back in where they belong. So yeah, that's my joy. And also kind of a concern, I guess, but mostly a joy.
And I'm going to take 2 stones for the joys and concerns that remain unspoken. And I will take an additional stone in remembrance of children and families affected by gun violence. And now we'll do our affirmation. It's number 443. It is a responsive reading, so I will read the plain text and the congregation will read the italics. All right. We arrive out of many singular rooms, walking over the branching streets. We come to be assured that brothers and sisters surround us, to restore their images on our eyes. We enlarge our voices in common speaking and singing. We try again that solitude found in the midst of those who with us seek their hidden reckonings. Our eyes reclaim the remembered faces. Their voices stir the surrounding air. The warmth of their hands assures us, and the gladness of our spoken names. This is the reason of cities, of homes, of assemblies in the houses of worship. It is good to be with one another.
And now I would like to invite Reverend Pat Jobe to come up, beloved friend of ours.
I cannot believe somebody picked out that reading 443 as you're about to hear. It just syncs up with what I'm about to say so beautifully. But first, we have a job to do. We need to all stand and look at the camera that's over the doors back here in the back. Everybody stand up and look back at the camera. So Brian, how are we doing? Are we there? Okay, we're there. Okay, everybody say, "We love you, Charlie." We love you, Charlie. Okay, thank you. You may be seated. How wonderful. How wonderful. There's been a lot said about religious education this morning already, but I just want to lift up Amy Hadsel again and say how we need to support her and love her and ask her, do you need any help with anything? Now, I need to warn you, if you ask Amy that question, she's going to say yes. And she's going to give you a Jobe. So be attentive to that. Is Walt Haskins in the house? He usually sits over here. He's not here today. I want to affirm Walt even in his absence. The last time Bill and I were here, Walt was sitting over here, and he stood up and he said, "Y'all, I am an actuary. I deal with numbers. And I can tell you that the odds of this many wonderful people being in the same room are extremely slim." So feel that affirmation. Feel that affirmation. And then Reverend Donna Johnson is with us this morning. Donna, we are so glad you're here, and we congratulate you on your recent retirement and your new home. There is a book waiting for you out in the lobby. It's called 365 Ways to Criticize the Preacher. And I think you may well find yourself in those pages somewhere. My brother will be hawking those books. We got a very gracious donation this morning, so your copy is free, Donna. Everybody else has to pay $10. This is a best-selling book that I have written in my career as a book writer, and that ain't saying much. But at least it's number one. Okay. Now I want to draw your attention back to that reading we just did, where we talk about being together. We talk about hearing each other's voices. We talk about calling each other's names. And Beth, you did a beautiful job this morning. You did a beautiful job. Bless you. You noticed that I called her name. That's what a lot of this is about, folks. Let's breathe together. Let's take a deep breath. And realize that we are all breathing the same air. We all have hearts. Our hearts are moving blood to the most distant extremities in our bodies. We are all part of one thing. I'm talking, you're listening, but there is a seamlessness to all of this. There is even an ineffable oneness to all of this, a nameless connection that is so strong among us, among the people we love, among the people they love. One of my blessings that I do at the end of my emails is I say to people, I love you and everybody you love and everybody they love, until we finally realize we're all in this together. We're all part of one human family. We all have shared humanity despite everything that is going on in the world. And I won't dwell there. This is a message about storytelling, and I'm going to tell some stories. The first one I'm going to tell is about this congregation. This congregation, not long ago, maybe just a few years ago, had an experience. And the experience was illustrative of one of the nastiest phrases in the English language. Are you ready for a nasty, nasty phrase? No good deed goes unpunished. Wrong. Wrong. Don't believe that. If you ever hear anybody say that, just step away from them and look at them like they got something on the side of their face, you know? Give them a nasty look. It's an awful phrase. So this is what happened. This congregation was involved in a community-wide effort to take turkeys to people at Thanksgiving. Maybe Christmas too, but Thanksgiving. A turkey, a basket of extra side dishes. They went into a home, and the people were very grateful. And they said, we thank you so much for bringing us a turkey, but we don't have anything to cook it with. We don't own a stove. Now, a lot of people who don't understand empathy, who don't understand compassion, who don't understand giving, would have simply taken the turkey back, given it to somebody else. Said, we're sorry you don't have a stove. Not Unitarians. No. They went and bought a stove. And they were delivering it to the home, and they fell through the porch. This is Ann Harrison's story, by the way. Ann said that here she was standing on this porch, looking down through a hole at these wonderful people who had brought the stove. And you can bet what happened next. I probably don't even need to tell you, but I will. They went back and repaired the porch. That's who we are, folks. That's the kind of givers we are. That's the kind of compassion and empathy that we demonstrate in the world. My stepdaughter was 8 years old, and we walked into a movie house, she and I and her mother, and the movie hadn't started yet, so my daughter and I went to the concession stand, not realizing that her mother and I had gone through every sofa pillow and cushion to have enough money to go to the movies. That was that time in our lives. Cash flow was a major challenge. But we went to the concession stand anyway. And I said, now, Katie, we're going to buy a big thing of popcorn and a big Coke, and the three of us are going to share it. And she said, I want my very own popcorn and my very own Coke. 8 years old. 8 years old. We're standing in line waiting. I started doing the math. I looked up at the menu board. I did the math. I said, Katie, it looks like we only have enough money for a really big popcorn and a really big Coke. She said, I want my very own popcorn and my very own Coke. So I did the math again. I looked up at the menu, $2, $3, $4. I said, okay, baby, I figured it out. We have enough money to get your very own popcorn and your very own Coke. And she said, and a candy bar. The man standing in line behind us said, sales. That girl is destined to be a salesperson. Find her something to sell. Find her something to sell. But that's the way working to be compassionate, to be giving, to be caring for people in need. That's the way it often works. That's the way it often works. And a candy bar. And a candy bar. We hear it all the time. My brother Bill helps me a lot. I think he helped me move 19 times. Is that right? Something like that. Yeah. I moved into 19 different homes during the period of time that I was married to a couple of women. And was it 25?
No, you weren't married to the women at the same time.
No, I wasn't married to the two women at the same time. That's right. That's right. Yes. Sometimes when I would ask Bill for help, he had to have heard and a candy bar. My requests to him have to have sounded like and a candy bar. Our mom and dad did him the same way. He would show up for a visit and they would say, while you're here, would you mind fixing something in the house? And it sounded like and a candy bar. Our UU group in Forest City has helped and helped and helped over the past 7 years. And sometimes we hear, and a candy bar. And recent changes in government policy have taken away so many health benefits through the Medicaid program, so many nutritional benefits through food stamps, so many child care benefits. The government has decided, and you all know who the government is, I don't have to name names. The government has decided that poor people don't need as much help as they were getting a couple of years ago. And our UU congregation in Forest City is helping and helping and helping. Thank you to Skip Minchie, who acknowledged that this morning. We are always helping. In fact, we're in the hunt right now for a new engine for a 2005 Dodge Ram. If any of you happen to have one of those parked in your yard, I'd love to hear about it. We have the first $600. We have the first $600 toward a new engine for that 2005 Dodge Ram. But often, when they need help, it sounds like, and a candy bar, and a candy bar. Where is the love in this? We love these people in need. Members of this congregation certainly loved those people who needed a stove and then needed their front porch repaired. That was love. This is not hearts and flowers love. This is whatever it takes love. You all heard my brother Bill read his riff on storytelling for our opening words. He is one of the most kind and generous people I know or ever hope to know. But his love isn't always hearts and flowers. Sometimes he has to grit his teeth a little bit. Sometimes he doesn't like hearing, and a candy bar. That's not his favorite phrase. Sometimes the person who is asking for that candy bar is me. And sometimes he is not that crazy about helping me, which I understand. But he does it anyway. And that is his story. We're telling stories today. That is his story. In many, many respects, that is the kind of love he has given for all of his 70 years. He hasn't always loved it. He hasn't always felt good about it. But out of that love comes deep in his heart. He goes on and does it anyway. Why don't we all just give him a round of applause for a lifetime while we're at it today? I did a tribute like that for a small group of us who were gathered for his 70th birthday. And after I read it to him, he said, "Am I dead?" Loving stories are the best kinds of stories to tell. I love so many of you because for 16 years I've been coming down here and you have loved me. You have loved me. That just means so much. Everybody knows how wonderful it is to be loved, but I like it a lot. We have loved each other's theology or the lack thereof. We know there are those among us who think they have no theology, and that's fine. That's fine. Not everybody needs a theology. We haven't needed to love each other because of any particular version of an old man in the clouds or painted on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. We haven't needed a Christian God or a Jewish God or a Buddhist God or a Muslim God or a Hindu God. We haven't needed gods to love each other. We just do it. We just do it because of our shared humanity. We have been testing each other's waters and we have found something worth loving. The music man, John Shepherd, eminently demonstrates lovability because he brings us music to love. Kat Duncan is worming her way into our loving hearts because she is working to fill the huge chasm left when we lost David and Sarah. I've probably already named too many names and somebody's feeling left out, but most of you know we love each other through the hugs and the eye contact we have before and after this service. And Donna, if you don't get plenty of hugs and eye contact after the service, let me know and Bill and I will jump right in. Sometimes we exchange emails or phone calls that reinforce that love. And that is the story of this congregation, extended on out week after week, month after month, year after year. What a story. What a story. Okay, so I'm going to put the tips of the fingers of my right hand into the palm of my left hand. I'm doing this as a ritual. I'm doing it as a connecting point. And I ask you to do it with me. Put the tips of the fingers on your right hand in the palm of your left hand. This is how this congregation connects. We connect to each other. We form a connection. Right there it is. And yet we have a loss of words. The more we talk about it, the more we say, the harder it is to remember. Right there is the connecting point between your right brain and your left brain. Right there is a connection between the East and the West. Right there is a connection between this side of the room and that side of the room. It is so precious, and yet beyond words, it is ineffable oneness. Let me close with one more story. According to Jewish tradition, a man's wife left him and became a prostitute. Most people who know a lot about prostitution say that very few women choose that way of life. Many are threatened with first torture and then death if they do not allow themselves to be prostituted. I've heard experts in the field talk about how horrible the recruiting process is. It often involves drug addiction. So it is not hard to imagine the woman in this old Jewish story was kidnapped or threatened with death if she did not comply. Her husband felt led by some spirit, some angel, some voice in his head to go find her and bring her back home. And he did. He told her he loved her. He told her she would always be loved by him, no matter what else had happened in her life. I'm sorry. And the reason the ancient Jews love to tell this story is because that's what they believed about everything. That's what they believed about the sunshine that warmed their lives. That's what they believed about the rain that fed their crops, the flowers blooming in the garden, the olives growing in their groves, even the breath in their lungs, and the blood in their veins. All of it loved them as that man loved his wife, and as we are called to love each other.
And now, if you would, in your hymnal, please turn to 170, 170, and sing with us, "We Are a Gentle, Angry People."
Please be seated. Stay if you can for the talk back. It's going to be another storytelling sessions. Stories are going to be limited to 5 minutes, Gordon. And our closing words come from Mark Twain. He said, "Never let the facts get in the way of a good story."
Please join me as we extinguish the chalice. The words are in your order of service. While we extinguish this flame, we still carry in our hearts the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment until we are together again.
See your